The afro is out today. The afro did not come to play today. Sanbanani Makaya, it's your girl, Kifilwe Mtiana. You can call me Fifi, short for Kifilwe, and welcome back to another episode of Fifi Talks. This is a podcast where I sit down with you guys and have raw and unfiltered conversations about how it is to live in this world as a Christian, especially in my generation. And I go into some topics that people find in a way taboo. And yeah, just navigating my life as a Christian, as a Gen Z specifically. Yeah, I'm super excited today to be filming today's episode. I never actually thought that I was going to film today, but I just had a spark in my heart and I was like, let's film it, let's film it, let's film it. So today's topic is not really, okay, I would say it is along Christianity, but it's more along you as an individual, right? But firstly, as you guys know, before we start, we have to start off with the verse of the day. Verse of the day. I've got my Pinky Bible here today with me, as always. As always, as always. So today we are going to be reading from Psalms 139, verse 14. Yes. Let me open it quickly. And today I'm holding the Mikey. I know usually like I have it like on my chest and stuff, but then I just wanted to try out holding it today so I can see how it is. We said 139, 14. And it reads, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. So, as you guys can see, basically today we'll be talking about self-love, everything self-love, why it is important to take time for yourself, but not specifically take time for yourself, but just love yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, who is gonna? Literally nobody. So, as you guys know, I've got my baby, as always. My pinky baby. You all know her by now. If you don't know her, that means you're not a true one. And that speaks volumes. And I'm judging you a lot and stuff. I think I'm going to have like 6 points about how to, let me say, fall in love with yourself. But I could say self-love, but it's mostly falling in love with yourself, right? So the first one that I have is devotion for self. It is super important to devote time to do things that you love. For example, like maybe you love baking, maybe you love crocheting, like how I love crocheting. I'm such a huge crocheter. There's reading books, there's horse riding, there's maybe your favorite hobby, your favorite sport, whatever it is. Just make sure you devote time for yourself by doing things that you love. I think when you do that, you get to fall in love with who you are in a sense of you know what you're capable of in a way. And you know, how do I say this? You know, okay, you know what you're capable of, and knowing that you're good at whatever you're doing makes you feel good about yourself. It kind of releases some dopamine energies, and that is something that we're superly looking for in a way. That's why self-care kind of just makes us feel good. It's because it releases so many dopamines and stuff. So yeah, it is important to devote time for yourself But let me not say time, because when I say time, it's gonna clash with another point that I'm gonna talk about, which is romanticizing your life. But yeah, even though it's you doing it alone, but sometimes you can do it with somebody. Maybe like you like baking with your friends. That's still you devoting yourself, but with some company. So it's not really far from each other, but yeah. When it comes to like devoting some time for yourself, um, I would actually put this on top, especially if you have went through something. Like for example, a huge major breakup, which kinda not really shifted, but like shifted your perspective of love in a way. Because all of us can testify for this, right? When you're in a relationship, the only love you actually ever know is the love that your partner gives you. And when that's taken away, it takes a super huge toll on your mental, because it's like, oh shit, wait, what's going on? I don't actually have the love anymore, because the only love that was ever registered in your brain was the love that was being given to you. And that's where I think most people tend to lose self-love, or start getting like depressed and stuff, because the only love that you ever knew is now gone, right? Um, I actually like have a story time in a way, but it's not really a story time. It's just like a little thing, a little story that I can tell you guys. Um, with me, I was my last relationship. It was literally like 4 years long, and let me say, since it was 4 years long, right? This was supposed to be the fifth year. Yes, this relationship started in my whatnot early teens. So, meaning everything that I ever learned about myself, I learned it with my partner. I never really knew myself outside of that relationship, because during your teens, that's where you get to like know yourself, get to figure out what you love, get to figure out so many favorite things. But then it's different when you're with a partner, because it's like now the only stuff that you actually only know are the stuff that you and your partner discovered together. So when that relationship ended, I think it did take a toll on my mental health, even though I am still in denial, because I feel like I didn't actually feel the breakup in a way. I think the day it hits me is it's literally gonna be a bad day, hey. But yeah. But then it did start to register to me that shit, I actually don't know myself. Why? Because everything that I ever knew about myself, I knew myself with that partner. And now that that partner is gone, it like takes away the identity of self. So did I have an identity crisis? Definitely. Am I still going through it? Definitely. Because who am I? And this really like shifts your idea of what self-love is, because even though I was going through this identity crisis, I feel like I got to find a way to try and fall in love with myself by doing specifically things that I love. So devoting time for self. I fell in love with crocheting again. I fell in love with cooking. I fell in love with so many things. I found so many hobbies besides that, because especially when you're in a relationship, most of your time goes to you talking with your partner, especially if it's not really long distance, but you guys really talk a lot on the phone. When you wake up, you find a good morning text, you go straight into talking to them the whole day. Now that when that is gone, it's like, oh, what do I do? I wake up and do what? Right? And that actually leads to like a depressing state. So I feel like for you to come out of that, just try and find some hobbies and just try and dedicate time to self. Yeah, that's what I have for devoting time to self. I know that this was a super huge, not super huge, but a super long type first point, but I feel like it is super important. The next thing that I wrote here is reward yourself after achieving anything, right? We usually skim past the fact of rewarding ourselves, but we know how to reward other people. And it's like, why wouldn't you reward yourself when you are your number one fan, when you are your number one supporter? You got a 90 for this test. You passed your driver's test. You got a brand deal. You are finally working with something. You got a side job. You I don't know, there's always a lot, right, that we superly skim past when it comes to rewarding ourselves. And I feel like we should kind of like shift the narrative and like try and reward ourselves when we do such things, because in a way it gives you motivation, and in a way it like helps you stay not really vigilant, but stay, I don't know. I don't know. The word literally just disappeared right now. But yeah, I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying. So what I would say in your self-care journey or whatever journey, it doesn't even have to be self-care specifically, but try and reward yourself, because there's nothing greater than treating yourself. It could be something small. Buy yourself a little cake. Um, buy that shoe that you've always been wanting. Go on a little shopping spree. Just reward yourself, because as I said, it keeps you very motivated and it lets your inner child specifically be happy. The next thing I have here is let yourself be. Don't hide away from who you are. Remember that you are not too much. I feel like this specifically goes for people that are still at school. Actually, in any environment that is what's so professional, we all kind of seem to like hide away from who we are because we are afraid of quote unquote shaming ourselves. We are scared on quote unquote not being seen in a professional way. And that actually makes you drift away from who you are. You end up becoming someone that is a people pleaser, for example, somebody that isn't who you specifically are as an individual. So what I would say is, I know it might be a cringy thing, or I know that you might lose friends, but do your best to, how do I say this? Do your best to try and be yourself. If you lose people along the way, then I guess those people were never for you, right? Somebody that loves you or somebody that actually wants you around their circle won't care. They will actually also show out their side so that it doesn't become a cringe thing because you're the only one doing it. And if people are judging you, let the people judge. Who are they at the end of the day? No one cares. We don't care, right? So prioritize not prioritize being yourself, no matter how cringy you think it is, right? The right people will not go away in a way. Um, the next thing that I have here is choose the people that choose you. Surround yourself with love. We usually like skim past this, but then there's so many of us that are surrounded by people that actually don't like us, people that look down on us, people who want to be us, but not in a good way, people that, you know what I mean. So I know this is like an obvious thing, but as I said in I think the past episode, remember when you end up in a group of friends in a way, try and pray for the Lord to show you if these people are right for you, if these people have good intentions for you, because you end up in such a deep hole that you cannot take out yourself, because you never really knew what the intentions of these people are. And since they always wanted to let you go down in a way, you now don't even know yourself anymore. And that's where identity crisis also comes in. But that's identity crisis in a bad way, because it's not like you ever wanted this for yourself, but it's because of your surroundings, right? And like as I said, good bad company corrupts good morals, right? One rotten potato spoils the broth. What else? What else? What else? What else? Birds of the same feather flock together. There's just so many friendship things that, not even friendship, just like people that you surround yourself, things that will kind of help you, or like let you open your eyes and see that, are these people actually for me? Are these people bringing me down? Or are these people trying to make me the best version of myself? So it is super important for you to figure this out, because it will take a toll on yourself, on your self-love care journey and whatever. So be sure to look out for it. And the second last thing I have is romanticize your life. I feel like we really skim past this a lot, a lot. People like think you going on a solo date is like cringe in a way. And it's like, no, 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 no. Because if you don't take yourself on that date, who will? You know? I recently, not even recently, I think a month ago, I went on a solo date, and literally that was the best thing, even though I was basically studying. But just being alone, listening to music, drinking some stuff that I had ordered, that was literally so nice. Even the walking to the mall, like walking around the mall, going to that specific destination, window shopping, that was super, super nice. I would definitely recommend, and I'm definitely going to do it super soon, because who knew I could be such a fun person, right? So don't shy away from that. And yeah, just try it. You don't have to even spend a lot of money. Just go to the mall alone, window shop, whatever you want to do. Buy yourself just a small cold drink and just sit there and read your book. Do whatever hobby you want to do. If you crochet, if you knit, whatever you want to do. Or you can just sit there and like do your schoolwork. It's super refreshing to the mind, and I would 100% recommend, right? The last thing I have, which is a super important thing, is prayer. When we are going through some self, I don't know, self sabotage, I don't know what you want to call it, eh? It is important to look to the Lord and go to Him in prayer and ask Him to help you navigate the specific season of your life, because we do get some sense of doubt, we do get some sense of identity crisis, as I said. We get so many things which may lead to stuff like mental health issues like anxiety, depression, bipolar, so many things, just because of lack of self, right? And most of the things we can't usually help ourselves, because we need an almighty power to help us heal in a way. So don't forget to always have the Lord at the center of it all, because at the end of the day, He is your creator, and He knows what is going on, and He's the one that's going to help you. So yeah, it's super important, because you don't want to end up idolizing yourself, because that is a sin, as we know. Yeah. So whatever you do, just try and keep Christ at the center of it all. But yeah, um, thank you guys. I think that's basically it. I think that's it for the self love. I know it wasn't super stuff like where they tell you take a bath, paint your nails, do your hair. I needed to go into depth because we are now old, guys. So some things are more mentally than they are physically. So yeah. Um Thank you guys for watching this. If you're listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you guys learned a lot of stuff. Um, I will see you guys in my next episode. I think I'm gonna start posting episodes every Monday. I saw it from one of this podcast creator. Her podcast is called Baker's Brain Dump. You guys should check it out. Yeah. And she posts every Monday. And when I was watching it today, she said something like it's good to like start off your week with some knowledge from someone else. So I think that's what I'm also gonna start doing because I didn't really have a set date. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start posting every Monday so that you guys can start your week with me. And yay. I love you guys so very much. And thank you very much, as I said, for tuning in. Make sure you drink your water, read your Bible, and pray. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next episode.